And let me say this to all of the chattering class that so much focuses on those little tiny, yes, porky amendments. The American people really don't care.
The DOGE department going after waste and fraud in our federal government spending is a complete and total winning issue for Republicans. The Democrats basically don't know how to counteract this. That's why they're coming out with outlandish claims of, oh, we're in a constitutional crisis and they're trying to steal your identification and your money. All right. It's all completely ridiculous. But now they're saying, oh, this is actually going to make Donald Trump less popular. And I have to say, not so much, because over here you can see that, yes, according to a new shock poll, Trump's approval rating among black men has soared to 42%. I never thought it would happen this much or this fast, because this 42% among black men means about 20% overall total support among black voters in general, which is a huge gain. And this report comes to us from Cygna, right? 42% of black men approve of the job Trump is doing, and 4 in 10 have a favorable opinion of him, all right? These are huge gains, and it means the cracks are finally coming in as people wake up to the fact that the Democrat Party is not your friend. They do not want to make your life better. Instead, they want total and complete control over government and everything that happens in this country. And we are here to stop them as the party of small government and government control, and of course going against government waste. But some people on the left are lamenting the fact that they didn't do it first, as we're going to see over here on Pod Save America. But before I get to these clips, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Trump is he is moving so fast. They are doing a lot. It's not just the perception of it. They hit the ground running in a serious way. It's like genuinely impressive in a dark and sinister way, but it's nonetheless impressive. And if you're turning on the news every day and hearing about all these different things Trump is doing and all the different criticisms coming out of it, you may not like all of it, but like in comparison to how people felt about Joe Biden being basically absent, I imagine for a lot of people, it's a welcome change.
The energy, and he's signing things, and he's affecting all that. I think that is playing extraordinarily well.
It's like, you don't want to seem like you're opposed to government efficiency, but obviously now they're just rampaging through like the government Venmo and shutting shit off left and right.
I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just lamenting our situation.
Me too. No, I love it. I felt the same way because I've seen the messaging memos, and it's like, you know, the young people, Gen Z, they like DOGE and what Elon's doing because, you know, they see government as sclerotic and inefficient, and they like the move fast and break things ethos, and they want to get stuff done, and they like the results. And it's like, yeah, yes, of course, we all want that. We all know that government is slow. We all know that government can be inefficient. We all know that the bureaucracy can be bloated. We all worked in the White House. We tried to reorganize the government. We tried to find efficiency. It's hard to do.
And honestly, some of this is pretty annoying because it's some of the stuff we should have done.
Right, yeah.
You could do some of this.
So this is the Pod Save America crew, and they all worked in the Obama White House. And they're basically revealing how jealous they are, how jealous the Democrats are of what's really going on, right? This is effective messaging and, of course, effective policy for the American people. And the longer this goes on, the more popular it's going to become, because we're going to see more and more waste and fraud being exposed. Not to mention the simple fact that the Democrats would not have done this, all right? So they're saying, oh, we should have been doing this. You wouldn't have, because I'm willing to wager a lot of these funds are going right back to Democrat pockets and coffers, okay? That's why they're fighting so hard against it. So no matter how much truth is actually exposed about all of this wasteful garbage, the Democrats will still have to oppose Donald Trump on it.
What did you think of that press conference, Scott?
Well, look, Elon Musk, who doesn't need to do this, has, you know, he could be doing anything else. He's got companies. He's the richest guy in the world.
People don't need to do this. It's not like
has decided to give his own time to a government of a country that he loves, that has given him all this opportunity. I take him at his word that he wants to be transparent, that he invites transparency. Obviously, everybody in the English-speaking world media is looking into him every single day. I would have no fear if I were him about Congress asking questions and looking into it. I think they are.
The definition of it is he's not been on the front end of this so far. He's not been transparent. I mean, there may be.
They are making routine announcements about the things they are finding, and they are inviting questions about the things they are finding every single day.
But by definition, he's not being transparent. They're not providing data for the things that they say they have found evidence of. They just aren't.
The White House has provided.
You can make announcements, and he also did admit that he actually.
So you just don't believe it. I mean, they are providing information. You just choose not to believe that it's true.
I don't think anyone should just believe that it's true. Do you think that people have taken kickbacks of tens of millions of dollars from USAID?
Here's what I think.
Do you believe that?
I think every year
No, but don't accuse me of just like.
I'm just asking you. Do you believe that there is any level of fraud, waste, fraud, and abuse in the government?
No, that's not what you're asking me, and I'm going to ask the question. Don't accuse me of just like.
And so, if you believe that, do you believe that it's possible that they are finding and producing information about it? Of course,
that wasn't my question. My question was, by definition, they're not being transparent. They can continue to be successful.
What do you want them to do?
Provide data if they're firing. If they provide data that they have found people, everyone would want to know if someone has received kickbacks to the tune of tens of millions of dollars.
I don't disagree with you. I love the idea of data. I love the announcements. I love them putting out regular reports of what they're doing.
They have not.
And I love the idea of Congress also bringing them up to report to Congress on what they're finding, because ultimately Congress needs to be engaged in this as well.
So the new attack line from the left is that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are not being transparent about this whole process, to which I have to say, CNN, are you freaking kidding me? Joe Biden basically didn't do any press conferences or answer any questions for 4 years, and you didn't care one iota about it. But now that Donald Trump's in office, oh, you're actually waking up and remembering, oh, you are journalists, okay? But in the meantime, Donald Trump is actually giving press conferences. Him and Elon Musk are answering questions, and they're providing specific examples of what they're finding, okay? But Scott Jennings is going to rightly point out, you basically just don't believe what they're saying, right? They're saying all this stuff, and you don't believe what they're saying. And it's right for Kate Bolduan to say, you know what? Yeah, we shouldn't just take it all at face value. But once again, where were you for the last 4 years? And the receipts are coming. We'll get to that in 1 second. But Scott Jennings puts it perfectly, right? Do you believe that there was some waste? And do you think that waste possibly found its way into the pockets of, members of Congress or organizations that didn't deserve it, etc.? And if you don't believe that, then obviously you don't know what's been going on in Washington, D.C., okay? But speaking of receipts, Karoline Leavitt came out in extraordinary fashion and laid the smackdown in a recent press conference. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Many outlets in this room have been fear-mongering the American people into believing there is a constitutional crisis taking place here at the White House. I've been hearing those words a lot lately. But in fact, the real constitutional crisis is taking place within our judicial branch, where district court judges in liberal districts across the country are abusing their power to unilaterally block President Trump's basic executive authority. We believe these judges are acting as judicial activists rather than honest arbiters of the law. And they have issued at least 12 injunctions against this administration in the past 14 days, often without citing any evidence or grounds for their lawsuits. This is part of a larger concerted effort by Democrat activists and nothing more than the continuation of the weaponization of justice against President Trump. Quick news flash to these liberal judges who are supporting their obstructionist efforts: 77 million Americans voted to elect this president. And each injunction is an abuse of the rule of law and an attempt to thwart the will of the people. JJ.
On DOGE and the fraud claims, Elon Musk in the Oval yesterday gave us some information on that. We're just wondering if there's some proof, evidence. Is the White House willing to share evidence of those fraud claims, or can Elon Musk come to the briefing room and share material evidence of what he's talking about?
Sure, I would love for Elon Musk to come to the briefing room. That's why we had him go to the Oval Office yesterday, where I think he provided great answers. He was speaking in layman's terms, speaking common sense to all of you in the media, but also to Americans at home. But I would say especially to all of you in the media, because I think it's a real fallacy that there's this alleged lack of transparency when it comes to DOGE. President Trump and Elon Musk have been incredibly transparent on what DOGE is doing. There is an X account with the DOGE handle. They are tweeting out what they are doing on a daily basis. They have a website where they are posting the receipts of the contracts that they are reviewing and the payments that they have stopped from going out the door. The secretaries of our departments have stopped from going out the door. And I would also say that before it was Elon Musk making our government efficient and accountable, it was some unnamed bureaucrat that none of you knew. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. He's also now one of the most highly scrutinized men in the world alongside President Trump because of what he's doing and the access that he is allowing. So there's great transparency. As for the actual receipts, we are happy to provide them, and I actually brought some today because all of you know I love to bring the receipts. We have contracts upon contracts that we can send and provide this information to you. Let me be very clear. We are not trying to hide anything. We have been incredibly transparent, and we will continue to be. These are screenshots of contracts that DOGE found across our government. This is a DEI contract, $36,000 for U.S. citizenship and immigration services. That is against the president's policies and his America First agenda. This is a $3.4 million contract, a Council for Inclusive Innovation at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, Department of Commerce, another DEI contract that DOGE identified. I can continue to go through these. Oh, I love this one. $57,000 for climate change in Sri Lanka. What is this doing to continue the interests of the American people? Absolutely nothing. These are the line items across the federal government that DOGE is identifying daily. They're moving very fast. There's a lot of paper that we can show you, but we're happy to do it. This administration has been more than transparent about what DOGE is doing. And here's one of their tweets that they posted about the mine. I believe this is in Pennsylvania, where the federal employee retirement system is being processed. Did anybody know this was even happening in our country before Elon Musk talked about it in the Oval Office yesterday? A lot of Americans didn't. So we are providing transparency and accessibility on a daily basis when it comes to DOGE. And I also have a DOGE daily report, if anybody would like it, on all of the things that they are identifying and finding. We're happy to provide this information to you. We're talking about it every single day.
Are all those things you just mentioned fraud, or are they waste, or are they just contrary to the president's policies?
I would argue that all of these things are fraudulent, they are wasteful, and they are an abuse of the American taxpayer's dollar. This is not what the government should be spending money on. It's contrary to the president's priorities and agenda. And again, we can continue to provide you the receipts for all of the fraud, waste, and abuse. And if anybody in here wants to argue that the federal government is not fraudulent in some capacity, be my guest, because I think the American people watching at home would beg to differ.
Earlier, the subcommittee headed by Chairman Marjorie Taylor Greene, her and her staff discovered $2.7 trillion in improper payments to Medicare, Medicaid, overseas, to people who should not have gotten it. Some of this room might have missed that press conference. Can you elaborate on what the president is thinking at this point?
Well, again, that's another example. There's a very long list of the fraud, waste, and abuse that DOGE is identifying on a daily basis. Elon Musk also talked about yesterday about Social Security payments that are going out the door for people who are no longer with us, unfortunately. I would say that is certainly fraud. There's also a lot of contracts they've identified that, just as a hypothetical example, are $1 million, but only 500,000 went out the door. So where's the rest of that cash? And so that's the thing. Those are the things that DOGE is working on every single day. And I would just remind everybody in this room, this is what President Trump campaigned on doing. He's delivering on a promise that 77 million people elected him to do.
Oh my goodness, that was fiery. Here's Karoline Leavitt laying down the law, because right now the left is crossing their fingers and hoping, please let Elon Musk and Donald Trump be lying about all of this. But unfortunately, we're bringing the receipts, right? So you can keep crying your liberal tears. All of this will be revealed. The real waste and fraud of our American tax dollars going out to countries abroad, foreign enemies, terrorists, all types of weird DEI stuff. It's coming to an end. But of course, the big eye opener there was Marjorie Taylor Greene supposedly finding $2.7 trillion in wasteful and unlawful Medicare and Medicaid spending. That blows the mind. That's enough to close the budget gap and allow us to start paying down our national debt. Imagine what that's going to do for the stock market, okay? So here we are. We can't stop winning because we have the truth on our side. We can't stop winning because we have the American people on our side. And we can't stop winning because we have Donald Trump and Elon Musk on our side. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.